Guys, so today's video I want to talk about Showing Time. It's a great tool that you get, and you can log in with it in FMLS and in Georgia MLS. So when you are in FMLS and you go to Matrix, you can come down here where it has external links and click on Showing Time, and that'll get you in there. And if you're in Paragon and you want to get to it, you can click on resources and then go to Showing Time Setup, and that will also take you there. I do want to caution you guys and tell you that you may want to sync up your accounts, because if you're scheduling showings in Matrix and then you turn around and you schedule showings in Georgia MLS and then you go into Showing Time through Georgia MLS, your Matrix showings, FMLS showings, are not going to show on the calendar until you sync those up. So when you first get into Showing Time to set up your account, you'll click on the little icon down here where it has your name, hopefully. My computer's running really slow. This may be a bad day to do training. There it goes. So when it comes up, you can see how it has Georgia MLS here. So I'm accessing it through the link I clicked on through Georgia MLS. And if I was looking at the one that I'd accessed through FMLS, it says FMLS right here. So I'm going to go in and close that one down though. From here, everything would be the same that we're going to talk about, so I don't need to have both open and toggle. As we're going through this, your home screen here just gives you an update. So if you were representing a buyer, then your showings I have requested. If you're working on the listing side of things, showings requested on my listings. Conversations, because agents can communicate with each other inside of here. This is where those messages would be found at. And then feedback requests, if I had any feedbacks I needed to provide or ones that I was waiting to receive back from my listings, that would be a summary of those right here. The messages that are indicated here, you can click on the little number and it'll take you to your messages, or you can click on messages here. Under the showing section, this is where you can look at all the showings that you have created. If you're going on showings, you can look at the showings that are on your listing only. If you want to do that, I had created this showing for this example. Then ones that you have requested, you can make a new request to show, and then you can build a showing cart. We'll do a separate video on what a showing cart is and how to set that up when you're working with a buyer. Then moving on down, as you get listings, it will automatically sync up with your listings. And because I've synced my Georgia MLS and my FMLS account, it's pulling both in. If I had not done that, it would only pull in the Georgia MLS listings. So that's why I highly encourage you to do that. And we'll talk about the setup for your account here in a little bit. So if you wanted to set up the listing alerts for your listings, so once it's populated in there, you can click on it. And then this is going to show, and this is where you can go through and empower your homeowners if they want to. They can be the ones that receive the text inquiries for the showing request and confirm and deny those showings. You can go through and set up your appointment restrictions, set up how the lockbox is, where it's at. You can add a note in here, any additional instructions. If you want to include directions, you can. And then over on this side, you can merge this listing with another one. You can pull a report so you can see who else accessed your box. And so maybe you could do some follow-up, especially if you've had a listing that's been sitting for a while and maybe a price change occurred or something. So you want to reach back out to those agents and let them know if their client's still interested. The changes, so as things are changed on the listing, that'll be included. And some listing agents include attachments in Showing Time. So when you get your email confirmation that seller's property disclosure and things like that are attached to that email, and it'll automatically go with them to do that. So it's pretty self-explanatory going through here. As you add contacts into Showing Time, it will put them in here, and they're buyers and sellers. Here's where I've been practicing with myself. And then that's just, again, let them setting some rules on what they want to do and have them have the power to do some scheduling inside of here. As we're moving on down to the feedback, this is mainly useful when you have a listing, because you want to, after a showing, if you have it set up so that it automatically sends the feedback request, as soon as the client or the agent fills it out that viewed the home, it will send it to you, and then you can also have it set up to be sent to the homeowner so that everybody receives the same feedback. And then finally, the report section, where you can go through and look at all the different data on each one of these categories. Help and support. If you're struggling with something in showing time, or you're like, man, I wish it could do this, there's a good chance that it does. You just need to go through the help and support and search for it, and then it will pull it up. And then we'll move into family home group right here, or what your name would be should be here. And this is where you set up your basic profile. So I can set it up as your first name, your last name, you know, how do you want to be reached, your email, your text messages, gives you this information based on your broker code from where you're synced up with. Down here in this section is where you want to link your Georgia MLS and your FMLS information. So when you click on add a profile, it goes through the steps, and you will choose the MLS that you're not under. So for this one, I'm under Georgia MLS, so I would go and find the First Multiple Listing Service and go through those steps, the agent ID and everything that's there, and it will link those up after you fill in that information. Of course, I can't do that because we already have them synced up. So I'm going to cancel. Listing agent preferences. So if you're the listing agent, this is your preferences. Allow agents to request appointments online. Yes. Allow buyers to request appointments online. I say no because I really just want to work with the agents. I don't know how a buyer would get the showing time to schedule an appointment online, so I've left that as no. If you want to make appointment required, go and show, view instructions only. Any of these options, they have explanations underneath so you know which one is which. Notifications for appointments on my listings. How do you want to be notified? Text and push notifications. The feedback request. This is where I told you request feedback form from showing agent. I have it on no for this particular setting. Number of times to resend feedback so that you keep sending an email until you get the feedback filled out. I would recommend yes for you guys when you're working with your listings right here. And then showing agent. So when you're representing the buyer, notifications for appointments I request. How do you want to be notified? Moving through all of this, how is it that you want to be notified? And just change them so that it makes sense for you and what works for you and the preferences that you have. Your messages comes down here for an additional preferences. How do you want to be notified? And mobile app access. So if you did want to use the mobile app for anything, this is your information to do that. And I don't know what appointment download service key is, but we haven't had that come up in the year and a half that I've been listing homes. But as you make changes, a box would pop up and ask you if you want to save the changes. And of course, you would save those changes that you made. And that is it for a quick summary of showing time. It is a great tool. It's a way to keep track of who's going in, who's going out, getting feedback for your homeowners. There's a lot of great features built into showing time when you're working with buyers for being able to schedule multiple showings, and it'll map it out for the fastest route. That's how that showing cart works, but I'll do a video on that later on. But I do just want to share this with you all. I hope it was of some value and helps you understand what showing time really does and how it works to help you with your business. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. I am here to assist you all. Have a good one.